We just heard from Carly about face-to-face networking, and you're a specialist in online networking.
I am.
How does that differ?
Well, I'm a LinkedIn and social selling specialist, so it differs in the magnitude of what's possible. So LinkedIn is a great platform to leverage your networking activity to take hold of, whatever area that you're looking for in terms of seeking to grow a business.
Yeah. So when you say magnitude, what sort of scale are we talking?
The scale of wherever you want to go. So like, for instance, if your business was based here in Auckland, you might be all about finding clients or customers in Auckland. But if you also wanted to reach out to the world, whether it be the US or South America or Europe, you can grasp that. There are over 313 million members on LinkedIn.
Wow, that's a lot of people to network with.
It is a lot of people, and they're joining at 2 per second.
Wow.
Which is incredible.
Right, so while we've been running, how many is that have just joined? How fantastic.
Yeah, quite a number.
So, but how can you really get to know a person online?
It's like the real world. So what I do, I always recommend with my clients, think about being online and act online just as you would do in the real world. Use your charm and ability to connect. So Carly was talking about knowing, liking and trust, and that's really important online as well. People won't fall in love with you and your business just by connecting on LinkedIn. You need to build rapport and build a relationship. Yeah. So the ways to do that are to share. I always talk about giving before you get on LinkedIn, which is really important because people aren't going to come swimming to your business unless you actually do something. So that you can do things like you can endorse them for the skills that they have, you can write recommendations for what it is that they do, you can post useful content that your ideal clients would find useful or would learn something from. There's a whole different raft of ways of being able to give.
Yeah, that's a good point, and it picks up on what Carly said about giving before you get. It's what's in, not just what's in it for me, but what's in me for you, I guess.
Absolutely, it's essential
in
order to create results on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Just being there isn't enough.
But so many people set up a LinkedIn page and then don't do anything with it. Maybe me, not saying. Yeah. But what would your advice be for them? Because there's quite a lot of work in it, isn't there?
First of all, I'd say be completely comfortable with that. Yeah. There's a lot of you. But what I do say is that being there isn't enough. So having an incomplete profile on LinkedIn and only accepting invitations to connect is a bit like going to the largest ever networking event on the planet, that's planet Earth, in your daggy old track pants and standing in the corner with a glass of wine, even a nice Chardonnay, and expecting results to happen.
Oh, that's me. Yeah. My daggy track pants, that is me.
Just being there isn't enough.
Yeah.
You need to take some action. But having said that, there are many people in the situation that you're describing and they can learn how.
So what would be some simple tips? Let's say someone's watching this and they're thinking, whoa, I don't even have a profile. There's all this untapped market that I could reach into, but I really don't know how.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the first things that happen, like I review people's profiles all the time and I review groups of profiles. The key things that I see most often that people are missing, they don't have a professional headshot. Get a professional headshot. It's really important, a photo. Don't just take one with your selfie, that's not enough. Yeah. And make sure you're looking nice and appropriate for the business that you're in. Get a summary section on your profile. Again, many people don't even know what that is, so that's fair enough, but you need one to describe what it is that you do in your business or in your role. And in addition to that, another really big gap that people have on their profiles that they don't have what is called a recommendation on their LinkedIn profile. And a recommendation is like a testimonial for what it is that you do professionally. So when other people come and check you out, and they do check you out, that will then speak widely of what it is that you do and how you do it so well.
And how do you get a recommendation?
You can ask for one from the people who know what it is that you do professionally, or you can give one to someone else. Right. And there's a methodology on LinkedIn.
Tell me a bit more about social selling. What does that actually mean in its widest sense?
Sure. So when people join real world networking groups, they want to often expand their business. They want to create opportunities, leads and new clients. So social selling is a way of creating leads and finding new customers online using platforms like LinkedIn, and specifically that's the area that I tend to work in. So being able to find your ideal customers, make connections with them and take that into the real world and create business opportunities. That's the process of social selling. What's included is a range of different activities, which can be about what you put in your profile, and it can also be about posting useful content.
Yeah. Another term I've heard you use is blended networking.
Sure.
What does that mean?
Blended networking, well, it's great. Like what Carly was talking about, that real world, that's fantastic. And I love working with experienced professionals, one might say older than probably the youth demographic, if you like, because they have wonderful business experience. They know how to be in meetings, they know how to act at conferences and events and networking events, and they know how to communicate effectively in business. They've got all these lovely skills. But what they don't know yet is how to take that and make use of it online. Yeah. So when you take your offline or real world networking, combine it with online, that arrives at what I call blended networking. And that's about the leveraging. It's about the world of your choosing, really. Where do you want to go with your business? Cath, do you Google people after you meet them or before you meet them?
I do, and I connect to people as well.
Excellent.
Did you Google me?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
Is it all right?
You were fine. One of the key things about you Googling people or other people Googling us is that when they do so, your LinkedIn profile is delivered as one of the highest results by Google. Right. LinkedIn makes sure that happens. So one of the things to be really super aware of is that when people are Googling you, they're finding you on LinkedIn. So if you're currently just there, and let's just say your profile might be good, bad or ugly, depending on what's there, that's what people are finding. So LinkedIn presents an opportunity to really craft and look after your professional reputation online. And that's what I help people with.
So how much time would you spend on it, typically every day, week or month?
Oh, I spend a lot more than the average person, but I would recommend if someone was actively involved in business development for their business, probably spending half an hour minimum a day would be appropriate, because if you're literally involved in business development, you'd be doing at least that. Yeah. And then spending a bit more time once a week, maybe an hour, focused on some other types of activities would be appropriate.
Okay, half an hour a day wouldn't be too tricky for a lot of people.
Yeah, it wouldn't, but you know, it depends what your role is. That I'm talking about people who are business owners or responsible for creating new business for the businesses that they are in. Yeah. Someone who is perhaps in another role, maybe they wouldn't spend so much.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Thanks for all those tips and advice. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Cath.